Alex Morgan stared out the viewport as the transport ship approached the massive space station. Nervousness fluttered in his stomach. The Galactic Federation's Xenobiology Academy floated against the backdrop of stars, its crystalline structures gleaming in the light of the nearby sun. This would be his home for the next 2 years. Preparing for docking. All passengers secure belongings, announced a smooth, artificial voice. Alex double-checked his bag. Among his clothes and personal items was a small hologram of his family back on Earth. He touched it, and the image of his parents and sister Olivia appeared, smiling from their backyard in Ohio. He couldn't believe he was the first human accepted to the Academy. The ship shuddered slightly as it connected with the docking bay. Alex took a deep breath and joined the line of beings heading for the exit. Most weren't humanoid. Some floated, others slithered or rolled. All were from what the Federation classified as standard worlds, planets with mild climates, few natural disasters, and limited predator species. Earth was different. Class 12 Death World, they called it. Too dangerous for most galactic citizens to even visit. A tall alien with blue, almost translucent skin waited at the entrance holding a data pad. 6 eyes blinked independently as the alien scanned arriving students. Name and origin? The alien asked when Alex approached. Alex Morgan, from Earth. All 6 eyes fixed on him at once. The Death Worlder. The alien's voice had a musical quality, despite the obvious caution. I am Administrator Vexley. Follow the green path to orientation. Try not to startle anyone. Alex nodded politely and followed the glowing green line on the floor. Other students gave him a wide berth, some whispering to each other. He caught fragments of conversation. Keeps predators as pets. Can eat almost any protein. Sleeps unconscious for hours every day. None of it was wrong exactly, but hearing himself described like some kind of monster was strange. Humans were newcomers to the galactic community. Only 5 years had passed since first contact, and most aliens knew about Earth only from scientific reports and sensationalized media. The orientation room was a large dome with seats arranged in circular rows. Alex found his assigned place and sat down, trying to appear as non-threatening as possible. The seats to his left and right remained empty despite the room filling up. Is this seat taken? Asked a melodic voice. Alex looked up to see a being with 4 arms, copper-colored skin, and 4 eyes arranged in a diamond pattern. The alien was shorter than him, with a crest of feathery structures on its head. No, it's free, Alex replied. The alien sat gracefully. I'm Kira from Centauri Prime. You must be the human everyone's talking about. That's me, Alex Morgan. Fascinating. I've never met a Death Worlder before. Kira leaned closer, all 4 eyes blinking with curiosity. Is it true humans can break their own bones and survive? Alex tried not to laugh. Well, we can break bones and recover, yes. But it's not something we do for fun. Before Kira could ask more questions, the lights dimmed. A holographic figure appeared in the center of the room. A tall, willowy alien with shimmering skin that shifted colors like an oil slick in sunlight. Welcome to the Galactic Federation Xenobiology Academy. I am Professor Zix Nara, your lead, instructor and academic advisor. Each of you represents the finest scientific minds from your respective worlds. The professor's gaze paused on Alex. Her skin rippled with a pattern that might have been concern or curiosity. This year we have our first student from a Class 12 world. This historic moment reflects the Federation's commitment to diversity and inclusion. Dozens of eyes turned toward Alex. He tried to smile in a way that wouldn't show too many teeth. Professor Duam, Zixnara continued explaining the Academy's history and curriculum. Much of it Alex already knew from his application research. The Academy trained the galaxy's top xenobiologists, scientists who studied alien life forms. Graduates became wildlife preservation officers, planetary survey specialists, and ecosystem engineers. Your first major project will begin next month, the professor announced. Each student will introduce a domesticated species from their homeworld to the class. This exercise helps us understand the evolutionary relationships between sentient beings and their companion species. Excited whispers spread through the room. Even Kira bounced slightly in her seat. "What will you bring?" Kira asked Alex. "Something fierce and predatory?" Alex hadn't thought about it yet. Humans kept many animals as pets: dogs, cats, birds, fish. Which would best represent Earth? After orientation, students were shown to their quarters. The academy had adapted a special room for Alex with Earth-standard gravity and atmosphere. It was small but comfortable, with a bed, desk, and small food preparation area. As Alex unpacked, his communication pad chimed. A message from Professor Zixnara requesting a meeting the next morning. He wondered if this was standard for all students or just for the potentially dangerous human. He slept restlessly that night, his body still adjusting to the station's slightly longer day cycle. In his dreams, he brought a puppy to class, only to watch in horror as it transformed into a wolf that terrified his classmates. Morning came with the gentle increasing of light in his room. Alex showered, dressed, and checked his appearance in the mirror. He looked ordinary to himself: average height, brown hair, green eyes. To his classmates, he was an alien predator. Professor Zixnara's office reflected her elegant appearance. Living plants grew from floating pots, their vines forming complex patterns in the air. The professor gestured to a chair designed for human proportions. "Mr. Morgan, I wanted to speak with you privately about your upcoming time at the academy." "Is there a problem?" Alex asked. "Not exactly." Her skin rippled with colors. The board had concerns about admitting a student from a death world. Some felt it might disrupt the learning environment. "Because humans are dangerous?" Alex tried to keep his voice neutral. "Because you evolved under conditions that required aggressive survival traits," she corrected. "Your species developed as pursuit predators with unusually high endurance and pain tolerance. These are scientific facts, not judgments." Alex nodded. He'd heard this before. "The truth is," Professor Zixnara continued, "many students and even some faculty members are nervous about your presence. I wanted to assure you that I did not share these concerns. Diversity strengthens our scientific understanding." "Thank you," Alex said. "I'll do my best not to scare anyone." "Excellent. Now, regarding the Domesticated Species Project, you should know that the biosecurity requirements for bringing an Earth organism onto the station are extensive." "I understand. Earth life forms might be dangerous to others." The professor's skin shifted to a deep blue. "Actually, I was more concerned about protecting the Earth organism. Many of our standard environments could be toxic to Death World creatures." Alex blinked in surprise. It hadn't occurred to him that his dangerous Earth pets might be the vulnerable ones. "I'll help you navigate the permission process," Professor Zixnara offered. "If you decide what organism you wish to present, we can begin the applications immediately." As Alex left the professor's office, his mind raced with possibilities. This project was more than a simple assignment. It was a chance to change how the galaxy viewed humans and Earth. He needed to choose carefully. In the corridor, he passed a group of students who fell silent as he approached. One, a gelatinous being, actually formed a protective bubble around itself. Alex straightened his shoulders and kept walking. He had a lot to prove, and he knew exactly how to do it. It was time to call Olivia back on Earth. His veterinarian sister would know exactly which Earth monster would give these aliens the shock of their lives, in the best possible way. Alex sat in his room, waiting for the connection to Earth. The communication system beeped 3 times before Olivia's face appeared on the screen. Her brown hair was pulled back in a messy ponytail, and she wore a white coat with a stethoscope around her neck. "Alex, how's space?" Olivia's smile was wide and excited. "Are the aliens treating you well?" "They're treating me like I might eat them," Alex said with a small laugh. "Everyone keeps their distance. It's like being a shark at a fish convention." Olivia's smile faded. "That must be hard." "It's not all bad. I met one student, Kira, who actually wanted to sit next to me, and the professor seems fair." Alex leaned closer to the screen. But I need your help with something. He explained the domesticated species project and the impression he wanted to make. So you want something that looks scary but is actually gentle? Olivia tapped her chin thoughtfully. What about Charlotte? Dad's tarantula? Alex felt a shiver run down his spine. Even after all these years, the hairy spider made him nervous. That's actually perfect. Olivia grinned. She's docile, easy to care for, and definitely looks terrifying. Plus, she's small enough for transport. I can help, with all the paperwork for space travel certification. Thanks, Liv, you're the best. After the call ended, Alex felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. A tarantula would certainly challenge his classmates' perceptions. But first, he needed approval from the Academy's biosecurity department. The next day, Alex visited the administrative office to start the application process. The officer at the desk, a six-armed being with translucent skin, looked alarmed when Alex mentioned bringing an Earth arachnid to the station. A predatory creature with venom? The officer's voice rose in pitch. That requires special clearance from the board, multiple containment protocols, and it's for Professor Zix Nara's domesticated species project, Alex explained. Tarantulas have been kept as pets by human children for centuries. They're docile and their venom is weaker than a bee sting. The officer didn't look convinced but provided the necessary forms. Alex spent the entire evening filling them out, detailing Charlotte's species, care requirements, diet, and handling procedures. Meanwhile, classes had begun. Alex found the xenobiology lectures fascinating. He learned about life forms from dozens of worlds, plants that could communicate through light patterns, fungi that formed symbiotic relationships with rock formations, microscopic creatures that lived their entire lives in gas clouds. During a laboratory session, Alex partnered with Kira to analyze cell samples from various planets. Her 4 hands moved with impressive precision as she adjusted the microscope settings. I heard you're bringing a spider creature for the domestication project, Kira said, her 4 eyes blinking with excitement. Is it true they catch prey in sticky traps and dissolve them with digestive fluids? That's mostly true for web-building spiders, Alex said. Tarantulas are more direct hunters, but they're actually quite fragile and shy. A student at the next table, a being with crystalline skin, leaned away nervously. Why would humans keep dangerous predators as companions? Don't you have gentle herbivores on your world? We keep those too, Alex explained. Rabbits, guinea pigs, hamsters. But we also form bonds with animals that evolved as hunters, like cats and dogs. Earth ecosystems are complex. Predators and prey are all part of the balance. The crystalline student seemed unconvinced and returned to their work. Alex sighed. It was going to take more than words to change their minds. 2 weeks later, Alex received notification that his application had been conditionally approved. Charlotte could come to the academy, but with strict containment protocols. He immediately sent a message to Olivia, who promised to arrange transportation. As word spread about the deadly Earth creature coming to class, several students filed complaints with the administration. Alex was summoned to Professor Zix Nara's office again. The professor's skin was a troubled mix of orange and purple patterns when Alex arrived. Mr. Morgan, I understand your desire to represent your homeworld, but there are concerns about safety. Charlotte is completely safe, Alex insisted. Tarantulas are so docile that children handle them. They're more afraid of us than we are. Of them. That may be true on Earth, Professor Zix Nara said, but context matters. What seems harmless to a death worlder might be terrifying to species from more sheltered environments. Alex leaned forward. Professor, isn't that exactly why this project is valuable? To learn about different evolutionary paths and relationship dynamics between species? The professor's skin shifted to a thoughtful blue. You make a fair point. Educational value sometimes requires stepping outside comfort zones. She paused. The board has approved your request with safety measures. The tarantula must remain in a clear containment unit except during your direct supervision. Thank you, Professor. I promise this will be educational for everyone. As Alex left the office, he noticed a small gathering of students whispering near the doorway. They quickly dispersed when they saw him, but not before he caught fragments of their conversation. Bringing a venomous hunter. 8 legs and fangs. Could escape and breed. Alex shook his head. The rumors were already getting out of hand. He spotted Kira down the hall and hurried to catch up with her. "How bad is it?" he asked. Kira's feathery crest flattened against her head. Some students are planning to skip class that day. Others want to observe from behind protective barriers. Her top pair of eyes blinked apologetically. "They're being ridiculous, if you ask me. I've been researching Earth arachnids, and while the larger species are impressive, they're hardly the planet-destroying monsters everyone imagines." "That's the point I'm trying to make," Alex said. "Earth has dangerous creatures, yes, but we've learned to live alongside many of them. Some even become our friends." "I believe you," Kira said, "and I can't wait to see this tarantula. Will it perform tricks?" Alex laughed. "No, Charlotte doesn't do tricks. She's more of a peaceful presence, but that's part of what makes her special." The day before the presentation, a small transport arrived from Earth with a special container. Biosecurity officers in protective suits insisted on scanning and clearing the package before allowing Alex to take possession. He carefully carried the container to his room, feeling both nervous and excited. Inside the clear, secure box, Charlotte sat calmly on a small piece of bark. The rose-haired tarantula was beautiful in her own way, covered in pinkish-brown hair, with long, delicate legs. Alex checked that she had water and that the climate controls were working properly. "Big day tomorrow, Charlotte," he said softly. "We're going to change some minds." That night, Alex barely slept. He kept imagining worst-case scenarios: Charlotte escaping, students panicking, or the tarantula becoming stressed and dying far from home. But alongside those fears was hope. This was his chance to show his classmates that Earth creatures, like humans themselves, weren't just mindless monsters from a death world. As morning arrived, Alex carefully prepared Charlotte's travel container, according to the approved protocols. He took a deep breath, picked up the secure box, and headed to class, ready to challenge the galaxy's perception of Earth's savage creatures. Alex arrived at the classroom 15 minutes early. He wanted to set up Charlotte's display area before other students arrived. The clear containment unit sat on the demonstration table at the front of the room. Inside, Charlotte remained calm, her 8 legs tucked close to her body. Professor Zixnara entered and approached cautiously. Her skin rippled with colors that Alex had learned to recognize as a mix of curiosity and concern. "Is the specimen secure?" she asked, keeping a safe distance from the table. "Yes, Professor. The container has triple seal technology, though it's really not necessary. Charlotte wouldn't try to escape even if she could. She prefers small dark spaces where she feels safe." The professor's skin shifted to a more curious blue tone. "Fascinating. On my world, creatures with multiple limbs are typically aggressive, colonial organisms. The concept of a solitary, non-aggressive hunter is unusual." Before Alex could respond, students began filing into the classroom. He noticed immediately that attendance was lower than normal. Several seats remained empty. Those who did come kept to the back rows as far from the demonstration table as possible. Kira arrived and, to Alex's relief, took a front row seat. She gave him an encouraging 4-eyed blink. "Today," Professor Zixnara began, "we continue our exploration of domesticated species from across the Federation. Mr. Morgan will introduce us to a companion species from Earth." The room fell silent. All eyes focused on the clear container on the table. From the back of the room, someone whispered loudly, "I heard it can jump several times its body length." Alex took a deep breath and stood. "Thank you, Professor. Before I begin, I want to address some rumors. Yes, this is a spider. No, she cannot escape through air vents, she cannot breed asexually, and she is not interested in hunting any of you." A nervous laugh rippled through the classroom. "This," Alex continued, pointing to the container, "is Charlotte. She's a Chilean, rose-haired tarantula, scientific name Grammostola rosea. On Earth, they're popular pets even among children. Alex activated the classroom display system. Images appeared in the air above the table. Tarantulas in small habitats, children gently holding spiders, close-up details of their anatomy. Despite their appearance, tarantulas are incredibly fragile creatures. Their exoskeletons are delicate. A fall from even this table height could be fatal to Charlotte. They're shy animals that prefer to hide rather than confront threats. Alex noticed several students leaning forward now, their initial fear mixing with scientific curiosity. "May I ask?" called a student with vine-like appendages. "Why humans would choose to keep a predatory creature as a companion? What purpose does it serve?" "That's an excellent question," Alex replied. "Unlike some companion animals on Earth, tarantulas don't serve a practical purpose like protection or assistance. People keep them because they find them beautiful, interesting, and because caring for another living being creates a bond." Professor Zixnara moved closer to the container, her skin now a deep shade of interested blue. "And how does one interact with such a creature?" "With gentle handling," Alex said. "Would you like to see?" The professor hesitated, then nodded. "Yes, I believe that would be educational." Alex carefully opened the top of the containment unit according to the approved protocol. The classroom went completely silent. He slowly lowered his hand into the container, palm flat. Charlotte remained still for a moment, then slowly, cautiously moved one leg, then another, onto his hand. Someone gasped as the tarantula fully climbed onto Alex's palm. He lifted her out with extreme care, holding his hand just above the table surface. "Her movements are slow and deliberate," Alex explained softly. "She weighs almost nothing. The hairs on her body and legs are sensitive to air currents and vibrations, helping her understand her environment." Kira raised one of her 4 hands. "Do the hairs serve other purposes?" "Yes," Alex said. "Some tarantula species have irritating hairs they can flick as a defense mechanism when threatened. Charlotte's species has these, but they're mild compared to others, which is one reason they make good pets." As Alex continued his explanation of tarantula biology and behavior, Charlotte remained calm in his hand, occasionally moving a leg but otherwise content. The initial tension in the room gradually dissolved into scientific interest. "The most dangerous part of a tarantula is its fangs," Alex continued, pointing to Charlotte's head region without touching her. "They use venom to subdue prey, mostly insects and very small animals. But a bite from Charlotte would feel similar to a bee sting for most humans. She only bites if severely threatened, and I've never seen her do it." Professor Zixnara moved even closer, now just a foot away from Alex's outstretched hand. "Remarkable. And how long do these creatures live in human care?" "Female tarantulas like Charlotte can live 15 to 20 Earth years. Some have lived as long as 30 years. Males have shorter lifespans, usually only about 5 years after reaching maturity." This fact seemed to surprise everyone. A student with metallic skin spoke up. "You form decades-long bonds with these creatures, even though they don't provide services?" "Yes," Alex said simply. "Companionship itself has value." After answering more questions, Alex carefully returned Charlotte to her container. To his surprise, several students approached for a closer look once she was secured. Kira was the most enthusiastic. "May I observe her more closely? I've been studying Earth biology, and the adaptations of your species are remarkable." Alex nodded, and Kira bent down to eye level with the container. All 4 of her eyes blinked in sequence as she studied Charlotte from different angles. "The joint structure is fascinating," she commented. "And the hair pattern suggests specialized sensory adaptation to low-light environments." Gradually, other students joined Kira at the table. A student with crystalline skin who had been particularly nervous earlier asked, "Is it true humans keep even larger predators in their dwellings? I read about creatures called cats." Alex smiled. "Yes, cats are much more common pets than tarantulas. They're mammals like humans, but with 4 legs, fur, and retractable claws." "And they hunt?" asked another student. "They evolved as predators, yes. But most house cats today mainly hunt toys or chase light points for fun. They're deeply domesticated." "Professor." Zixnara's skin had settled into a pleasant greenish blue. Mr. Morgan, I believe your presentation has been more educational than any of us anticipated. You've demonstrated not only Earth biology, but also something about human psychology and relationships with other species. As the class ended, students filed out, many talking excitedly about what they'd learned. Several thanked Alex or asked when they might see Charlotte again. Kira stayed behind, helping Alex secure the container for transport back to his room. You changed minds today, she said. Not just about Charlotte, but about humans too. Alex smiled. That was the idea. The Federation classification system doesn't account for this, Kira continued thoughtfully. Death worlds are categorized by physical dangers, gravity, predators, weather, toxins, but it doesn't measure relationship potential between species. Maybe that's something we could study together, Alex suggested. As they left the classroom, Alex felt a weight lift from his shoulders. For the first time since arriving at the academy, students in the hallway didn't move away as he passed. Some even nodded or waved. Professor Zixnara caught up with them near the exit. Mr. Morgan, your presentation has generated considerable interest. Several faculty members have asked if you would consider giving an expanded lecture on Earth's domesticated species. She paused, her skin rippling with excited colors. Perhaps with additional examples? Alex's mind raced with possibilities. I'd be honored, Professor. I might need to make some calls back to Earth, though. I think my classmates are ready to meet more than just Charlotte. He thought of Sam, his friend who worked at the diplomatic outpost and had permission to bring his Labrador retriever into space. It was time to take the next step in changing the galaxy's perception of Deathworlders and their companions. News of Alex's tarantula presentation spread quickly through the academy. Students who had skipped the class approached him in the dining hall to ask questions. Teachers from other departments sent messages requesting information about Earth's biodiversity. For the first time since arriving, Alex felt like more than just the dangerous Deathworlder. Professor Zixnara called a special meeting with Alex to discuss the expanded lecture. The Science Council is very interested, she said, her skin glowing with excited colors. They've approved a special event in the main lecture hall. We could accommodate up to 300 attendees. Alex blinked in surprise. 300? I was thinking maybe just our class. Your presentation has generated significant academic interest, the professor explained. Many species have never had direct contact with Earth life forms. This is an unprecedented educational opportunity. Alex thought carefully. Charlotte had been a good start, but he wanted to show more of Earth's diversity. I need to call my friend Sam. He works at the diplomatic station near Jupiter and has permission to keep his dog in space. A dog would show a different kind of human-animal relationship. Professor Zixnara's skin rippled with curious patterns. A dog is one of your mammalian companion species, correct? I've seen images in the database. They appear to be pack predators, with considerable strength. Yes, but they're also deeply loyal and affectionate. Dogs and humans have evolved together for thousands of years. They can read our emotions and understand many of our words and gestures. The professor looked skeptical, but intrigued. I'll need to file special clearance for bringing another Earth organism onto the station. What breed of dog would this be? A Labrador retriever named Max. They're one of our gentlest breeds, specifically bred to work closely with humans. They're even used to help care for our young and assist people with disabilities. Later that day, Alex called Sam on his communication pad. His friend's face appeared on the screen, smiling widely. Behind him, Alex could see the curved walls of the Jupiter diplomatic station. Alex, how's the alien school treating you? Better, now, Alex said. Listen, I need a favor, a big one. How would you and Max like to visit the academy for a special lecture? Sam's eyebrows shot up. Bring Max to your alien school, is that even allowed? I'm working on the permissions. But after my tarantula presentation, there's a lot of interest in learning more about Earth's domesticated species. A dog would be perfect. Sam grinned. Max would love the attention. And I've been curious about the academy. When would you need us? 2 weeks from now. I'll send all the details once it's approved. The next 14 days passed in a blur of preparation. Alex divided his time between regular classes and developing materials for the special lecture. Kira offered to help, spending hours in the Academy Library researching Earth's evolutionary history. "Your planet's history of mass extinctions is fascinating," she told Alex as they worked together one evening. 5 major extinction events, each reshaping the evolutionary path. 6 if you count what humans almost caused, Alex said quietly. Kira blinked all 4 eyes. "Yet you preserved thousands of species, even rebuilding ecosystems. That suggests a deep connection to other life forms." "It's complicated," Alex admitted. "Humans have done terrible damage, but we're also capable of extraordinary compassion. I think that's what I want this lecture to show, that coming from a dangerous world doesn't make a species inherently destructive." 3 days before the lecture, Sam arrived with Max. The Academy had never seen such intense security protocols for a visitor. Biosecurity officers in protective gear escorted them from the docking bay to a specially prepared quarantine room. Alex waited anxiously, outside until they were cleared. When the door finally opened, Max bounded out, a blur of golden fur and wagging tail. The large dog spotted Alex and rushed toward him, nearly knocking him over with enthusiastic greeting. "Max, good boy." Alex laughed as the dog licked his face. "I missed you too, buddy." Sam followed, grinning. "He's been excited since we left Earth. I think he knows he's on a special mission." Academy staff watching from a distance looked shocked at the powerful animal's behavior and Alex's comfort with it. One security officer actually reached for a stun device before realizing the interaction was friendly. Professor Zix Nara approached cautiously, her skin a mix of nervous yellow and curious blue. "This is the dog?" Max turned to look at the alien, his tail still wagging. He sat down next to Alex, alert but calm. "Yes, this is Max," Alex said. "Max, say hello." To everyone's surprise, the dog held up his paw toward the professor. After a moment of hesitation, Zixnara carefully extended her hand. Max gently placed his paw in it, performing a perfect shake hands greeting. The professor's skin shifted to amazed purple. "It understands commands." "He understands hundreds of words and phrases," Sam explained. "Dogs have evolved to read human gestures, facial expressions, and tones of voice. They can learn the meaning of our words through association." Over the next 2 days, Alex and Sam prepared their presentation while also dealing with a constant stream of curious faculty members who found excuses to visit and observe Max. The dog took all the attention in stride, happy to demonstrate tricks and skills for the fascinated aliens. On the day of the lecture, the main hall was filled beyond capacity. Some attendees stood along the walls. Alex spotted not only Academy students and teachers, but also visitors. From the Diplomatic Corps and Science Council members, Professor Zixnara opened the session. "Today represents a historic opportunity to learn about domesticated species from Earth, a Class 12 death world. This knowledge expands our understanding of interspecies relationships and evolutionary adaptation." Alex stepped forward first, showing images and data about Earth's biodiversity and the history of animal domestication. He explained how humans had formed relationships with various species for practical purposes, protection, and companionship. Then came the moment everyone was waiting for. Sam entered with Max walking calmly at his side. A collective gasp rose from the audience. Many had seen images of dogs, but the reality, a powerful predator with sharp teeth moving freely among them, was shocking. "This is Max," Sam said. "He's a 4-year-old Labrador Retriever, one of approximately 400 recognized dog breeds on Earth." For the next 30 minutes, Sam and Max demonstrated the bond between humans and dogs. Max responded to dozens of commands, sitting, staying, fetching, and even more complex behaviors like finding hidden objects by scent and retrieving specific items by name. The audience watched in amazement as the large animal gently took treats from Sam's lips, carried a fragile egg in his mouth without breaking it, and responded to whispered commands from across the room. "Dogs evolved from wolves," Alex explained. Over thousands of years, they developed the ability to understand human emotions and intentions better than any other non-human species. They can tell when we're sad, happy, afraid, or sick, often before we recognize it ourselves. To demonstrate this bond, Sam pretended to be injured, falling to the floor with a cry of pain. Max immediately rushed to him, whining with concern, licking his face, and then looking around as if seeking help. The crowd watched in silence, witnessing something few had considered possible: a predator species showing what appeared to be genuine empathy. By the end of the demonstration, the mood in the hall had transformed from nervous tension to fascinated respect. When Professor Zixnara announced that Max would remain at the Academy for a week as part of an extended study program, excited whispers spread through the audience. As Alex and Sam answered questions from eager scientists, Kira approached Max, cautiously. After getting Sam's permission, she slowly extended all four of her hands. Max sniffed them curiously, then gave them a friendly lick. Kira's surprised laugh echoed through the hall. "I think," Professor Zixnara said quietly to Alex, "the Federation may need to reconsider some of its assumptions about Death World species." Alex smiled as he watched more students cautiously approaching Max. "That's exactly what I was hoping for." The week following the dog demonstration transformed life at the Academy. Max became the unofficial mascot of the Xenobiology department. Students who had once avoided Alex now approached him with questions about Earth's wildlife. Several, even, asked to take turns walking Max around the station's garden dome. Professor Zixnara arranged daily sessions where students could interact with Max under Sam's supervision. The dog enjoyed all the attention, patiently allowing aliens of various shapes and sizes to pet him, play fetch with him, and learn his commands. "I never expected this level of interest," Alex said to Kira, as they watched a group of students teaching Max a new trick. "You've changed how people think about Earth," Kira replied. Her feathery crest rippled with enthusiasm. "Before, everyone saw Death Worlders as dangerous by nature. Now they're beginning to understand it's more complex." News of the Earth animals at the Academy spread beyond the station. Researchers from other institutions sent requests to visit. Education programs across the Federation asked for recorded lectures. The Science Council even contacted Alex about developing a permanent Earth species exhibit. One morning, Alex received a message from the Academy director requesting a meeting. He arrived at the director's office feeling nervous. The director was a Meridian, tall and thin with silvery skin and eyes that changed color with emotion. They were known for their logical approach and strict adherence to safety protocols. "Mr. Morgan," the director began, their eyes a formal shade of gray, "your demonstrations with Earth organisms have created quite a stir in academic circles." "I hope that's a good thing," Alex said carefully. "It is unexpected." The director's eyes shifted to a thoughtful blue. "Many believed that bringing Death World species to the Academy posed unacceptable risks. I shared those concerns. However, the educational value has proven significant." The director activated a holographic display showing data charts and reports. "Applications to the Xenobiology program have increased 30% since your dog demonstration. Research proposals related to Earth ecosystems have doubled." Alex smiled. "People are curious once they get past their fear." Indeed. The director's eyes now showed hints of green. Approval, Alex had learned. "Which brings me to the purpose of this meeting. The Science Council has approved funding for a special project, an Earth Biodiversity Center here at the Academy." Alex blinked in surprise. "A center just for Earth species? A research and education facility focused on Death World adaptations and interspecies relationships. Earth would be the primary focus, though other Death World ecosystems would be included as we make contact with them." The director continued. "The Council believes that understanding Death World evolution might offer valuable insights for species adaptation across the galaxy. They wish to offer you a position as a student consultant during the planning phase." Alex felt momentarily speechless. When he'd brought Charlotte to class, he'd hoped only to change a few minds about humans. This was far beyond his expectations. I would be honored, he finally said. Excellent. The planning committee will begin work next month. Until then, you may continue your current demonstrations, though I understand your friend and his dog must return to their post soon. Alex nodded. Sam needs to go back tomorrow, but I've been thinking about what to show next. The director's eyes flickered with curiosity. You have other Earth species available? Not exactly, Alex said with a smile. But I have an idea. Next day, Alex said goodbye to Sam and Max at the docking bay. The dog gave Alex one final sloppy lick on the cheek before boarding the transport ship. Many students had come to see them off, some even bringing small gifts and treats for Max. You've started something big here, Sam said as they hugged goodbye. Max and I are proud to be part of it. After the ship departed, Alex went straight to the communications center. He spent hours talking with contacts back on Earth, arranging his next demonstration. This would be different. No live animals this time, but something equally powerful. 2 weeks later, the main lecture hall was again filled to capacity. Word had spread about a new Earth presentation, though no one knew exactly what to expect. Professor Zixnara introduced Alex, her skin glowing with proud colors. Today, Mr. Morgan will share a different aspect of Earth's relationship with its diverse species. Alex stepped onto the stage. Behind him, the giant screen came to life, showing the Earth from space, a blue marble swirled with white clouds. So far, I've shown you 2 companion species from my world, Alex began. But Earth has millions of species, each with its own remarkable adaptations. While we can't bring them all here, I want to show you how humans interact with wildlife in their natural habitats. He activated the special feed he had arranged with Earth's Global Conservation Network. The screen changed to show a live video from an African wildlife sanctuary. A herd of elephants moved majestically across a savanna, babies protected in the center of the group. These are elephants, among the largest land animals on Earth, Alex explained. They're highly intelligent, form complex social bonds, and can remember migration routes for generations. For the next hour, Alex guided his audience through a tour of Earth's ecosystems. They watched lions hunting on the African plains, whales breaching in ocean waters, birds of paradise performing elaborate mating dances, and tiny colorful frogs in rainforest canopies. What most impressed the audience, however, were the scenes showing humans working alongside these wild creatures. Rangers protecting rhinos from poachers, marine biologists swimming with sharks, conservationists treating injured wildlife, researchers living among gorilla families to study and protect them. Humans evolved in these environments, Alex explained. We learned to survive alongside these species, sometimes as predators, sometimes as prey, but always as part of the same web of life. Today, many humans dedicate their lives to protecting and studying these animals, not just exploiting them. When the presentation ended, the applause was immediate and enthusiastic. Students and faculty surrounded Alex with questions and comments. Even the director was present, their eyes a bright green of approval. Later, as Alex and Kira walked through the garden dome, they found a small group of students huddled around a table. On it sat a terrarium containing a small, harmless spider native to the botanical specimens. We're creating a comparative study, one student explained excitedly, comparing arachnid adaptations across different world classifications. Kira nudged Alex gently. See what you started? Before your presentations, everyone avoided the garden dome spiders. Now they're study subjects. Professor Zixnara joined them, her skin a pleased pattern of blues and greens. The Science Council has approved 6 more Earth species for the new Biodiversity Center. They've also recommended revising the Federation's classification system to include a measure of species cooperation and relationship potential. That's wonderful news, Alex said. There's more, the professor continued. 3 other Death World species have contacted the Federation requesting student exchange programs similar to yours. The Academy will accept its first draconian student next term. Alex smiled as he looked around the station that had once felt so unwelcoming. In just a few months, perceptions had begun to change. It wasn't just about Charlotte or Max anymore. It was about recognizing that life, even from the harshest environments, found ways to adapt, cooperate, and form connections. That night, Alex sent a message to Olivia back on Earth. Operation Scary Creatures in Class was a complete success. He wrote, "Turns out the galaxy just needed to see Earth's wild side from a different perspective. They're still wary of Deathworlders, but now they're curious too. That's a start." As he looked out his viewport at the stars, Alex thought about the new students who would follow in his footsteps. Earth was just one death world among many in the vast galaxy. Each had its own unique life forms and adaptations to share. The Academy, and the Federation, would never be the same. And it all started with one small, hairy spider named Charlotte.